feel it, they'll be like, it's time to sleep, y'all. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to my channel. Today is going to be a bearded dragon video, hence
Marito Verde. Say hi.
Okay, so in this video, I wanted to discuss a little bit about brumation because there's a lot of confusion and it is a very scary time. So let's just get into it. So I have pulled out my 6-month research notes from Michi, mostly with food and like what everything I need, and I did a little section on brumation. Okay, brumation, impaction, and cleaning solution. This isn't everything to do with brumation, but it says some very important things. So what is brumation? Brumation is like hibernation for bears, but with lizards, their whole body shuts down, okay? And depending on what age they are, the length of brumation varies from dragon to dragon. So normally, they have to be 12 months or older in age for them to go in their first brumation. So any dragon under a year should not be going into brumation. If that is the case, your temperature is off / maybe your humidity. So you want to check that out if a young dragon is going into brumation. But it is perfectly normal for a dragon older than 1 year to go into brumation. Also, it is normal for a dragon to not go into brumation at all. So this is another slightly controversial topic of like, do I put my bearded dragon into brumation or do I just let it do what it does naturally? Because in Australia, it's a decent temperature throughout the winter. And so bearded dragons have the ability to go into brumation if things go south, but fact check me on this. I don't think they normally go into brumation. It doesn't hurt a bearded dragon to not put them into brumation, but it also doesn't hurt them to put them in brumation. So it just really depends on what you want to do as an owner. I just let Michi do what he wants. When I was earlier in my pet career, I didn't really know what I was doing, and so my temperatures fluctuated, causing Michi to go into kind of like a small / fake brumation. And then once I did more research on it, I was like, oh, that's why. But because I live in Nebraska, it gets very cold. Therefore, Michi needs heat. A lot of it. So I have up to 2 heat lamps in my tank. Not in it, but like sitting on top of it when it's cold, because not only is Nebraska cold, my room does not have insulation, gets no AC, and no heat, which is great. The vents are pointed to the wall, which is great. So my room gets very hot in the summer and very cold in the wintertime. Not only do I freeze, but Michi freezes as well, which is why I have 2 heat lamps in the winter, which is great. And then when your heat lamp dies, it's like, that's amazing. So anyway, back to brumation. Brumation, Michi went into a tiny brumation of about a week and a half, and then I covered his tank because I was watching Pansy. Hey kids. I was watching Pansy Pan's video of her waking Acho up from brumation, and she had covered his tank and turned off the heat and the lights, the UVB, and I did that as well. And it lasted for about a week and a half, which is really weird, but he was young at the time, so it's normal, but I just thought it would be longer. And then he wasn't in a full sleep, so I offered him water, not food. Don't feed your bearded dragon food while they're in brumation. That's another thing I need to talk about. But I offered him water, and he drank water, and then a few days after that, he started waking up. I don't know if it was me because I accidentally bothered him, but I didn't pick him up. I didn't like bother him because that's not good. So the signs of a dragon going into brumation can be easily confused with signs of sickness. There was a article that I read on a dragon forum that had the owner was young, they were 9 or 10. And they were saying that this also has to do with sand, but we've already talked about sand. I'm not gonna say anymore. But she was saying that, why do I keep saying she? I don't know why it was a she. They were saying that their bearded dragon was not eating, it was sleeping a lot, and it was just not being active. And so they didn't do their research, and they just let it be. And I'm like, and then not only did they let it be, they asked their vet, not their vet, oh my god, they asked their pet store employee who sold them the bearded dragon what to do. And I'm like, you are so dumb. The pet stores do not know a thing about dragons. And then after it died, she asked the vet, and its death was impaction due to sand, but just like, really? Anyway, so back to brumation. You know what brumation is. You know what causes brumation. Brumation is low temperature. So if bearded dragons have low temperature and they feel it, they'll be like, it's time to sleep, y'all. So if you keep your bearded dragon at a constant temperature, then they're not going to go into brumation. But however, here it's very difficult money-wise, but also just situation-wise to keep him at a constant temperature. Michi's just weird in general, so yeah. It's hard to keep a constant temperature. So due to cold, make sure it's not a sickness. So what is recommended is that if you see these signs, like less activity, not eating, and just being lazy, take them to the vet and get a checkup. I'm a horrible parent because I haven't done this, and I need to, but money-wise, it's expensive, and I don't have that money. When I get that money, I will definitely take Michi for a checkup because I know for sure he has critters in him. They're not contagious, they're not hurting him. It's just better if they're not there. But just a checkup is like $50 plus treatment is more, and it's like, I don't have that kind of money right now, okay? I'm poor and I'm a college student, so yay. And also, they'll go into brumation around winter time unless you keep them at a constant temperature. If you see your dragon having signs of brumation, do a checkup. Not you, the vet. Do a checkup and make sure they do not have any parasites. Because if they do, and if they go to sleep, the parasites will eat your dragon from the inside out, which is disgusting. So make sure that doesn't happen. Also, make sure they have one last poop before they go into brumation. This is important for the same reason as earlier. There are parasites in their poop. Salmonella, we've talked about this before. That will eat your dragon from the inside out. So don't keep their poop in them, okay? Do not feed them 1 to 2 weeks prior if you know when they're going to brumate, or if you're putting them into brumation. Don't feed them because you need them to poop. So you also need to turn their basking light off to accomplish 30 to 20 degree weather Fahrenheit. I don't know what that is Celsius, but Fahrenheit. And then you need to cover the tank so they're in darkness because bearded dragons like darkness when they sleep. You also need to turn their UVB lamp off so it's about 10 degrees from that because it's 30 to 20 to 10. And then usually they'll sleep for maximum 2 months, maybe more, it just depends on the dragon. They can sleep from a few weeks to a few months, so just be prepared to not have your dragon. And then if you keep checking on them while they're in brumation, because you don't want to kill your dragon, because number one, you just want to check on them. Don't pick them up if they're in a dead sleep. Do not pick them up and disturb them because you can kill them, because their whole body is shut down. Just imagine you like dead asleep and then somebody comes to shake you. Would that not scare out of you? Because that's what it's like for your dragon. So, except worse, and they could die from that. So, take it slow. Just poke them every once in a while. Actually, don't do that. Don't do that. Just look on them. See if they're breathing, because they do shut down. They don't breathe. They don't anything. If they're breathing, that's a sign that they're slightly awake, so just take it slow. Okay? Don't kill your dragons. And then you also want to bathe them after brumation because they are severely dehydrated. Please offer them water and or maybe a little bit of watery food so they can get their eating up again, because just imagine you have no food, no drink for however long, a few weeks, you're totally shut down, okay? Take it slow. Don't shove food at them and expect them to eat like normal, because that's not true. Just imagine if you're waking up after like a surgery or anesthesia. That's what it's like for a dragon, except they're kind of dead. Okay, I think I've talked about brumation enough. So hopefully this gives you enough. Oh, here's this chart. I was saying in my other video, my chart about the size. Here's this. You guys want to screenshot it? There's that age slash size month thing. Anyway, there's brumation for you guys. I'm going to talk about impaction in my next video because it's important, not only for sand, but they could eat like pebbles or interesting things. So hopefully you guys learned something. If you have any questions, please leave them down below and I will do my best to answer them. Other than that, thank you for watching and I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.
Your demons drive me close to hell.